Hello, I'm David Allen. Welcome to the Not Bad series. Today we're looking at spare parts you should carry for your four-wheel drive on a wilderness adventure. Now this is a subject with much diverse opinion. You'll hear many different perspectives on the matter depending on the experiences people have had on their vehicle or the age of their vehicle, etc. I'm going to show you what I carry. Which is I'd recommend is the minimum you should carry. At the end of the day, remember, you can't take it all. You can't carry everything. There's a limit to what you can fit in. There's a limit to the weight you can carry. If you have an older vehicle with high kilometres on it, you may want to consider some additional things relevant to your vehicle. So let's have a look what I take. First of all, grease, small tube, won't come undone, compact. Silicon sealant, again, just a small tube, nice and compact. Some of this metal putty, this is good for fixing things like holes in fuel tanks or holes in radiators. This is some of this emergency epoxy repair tape. I've got a couple of different types of that. That's good for fixing things like a hole in a radiator hose, among other things. I don't carry spare radiator hoses, but I do carry a couple of different types of epoxy repair tape. 5-minute Araldite, I just use the sort in the small little tubes, just easier to avoid leaking that you can get from the bigger tube. Super glue, which is useful for a different application to Araldite. I carry loads of double-sided tape of various sizes and various strengths. I carry loads of Velcro, particularly this sort here that you can just comes on a roll. I've got a couple of rolls of that, very good for holding things together, wrapping things up, that kind of thing. Just cut off what you need. Loctite 243. This should be used on all nuts and bolts on aftermarket gear in particular, which is the most vulnerable things that come loose on outback roads. The 243 is the sort that you can still get the nut off with a tool. Just a roll of electrical wire, gaffer tape, Teflon tape, and electrical tape. I carry a roll of 2mm wire, which is just an emergency thing to hold things together on a temporary basis that might come undone. Here I've got a variety of nuts, bolts, washers, spring washers, circlips of a variety of sizes. I've got a little container here of electrical connectors. I've got another container here with hose clamps in it. It's good to get those of the same brand because you can join them together if need be. This is just a container of self-tapping screws of a variety of sizes. Bit of emery paper, good for cleaning up electrical connectors and other things. A spare UHF antenna. Whilst you would buy an antenna that's least likely to break, antennas can still break. So it's highly recommended you carry a spare antenna because you don't want to be without your radio. Here I've got a tyre repair kit for plugging a hole in a tyre. I also carry 4 spare valve stems as well. If you tow a trailer, you should carry spare wheel bearings for every wheel. Windex, nothing worse than not being able to see out your windscreen. A roll of cloth rags, good for cleaning up what you're working on or cleaning yourself up when you're finished. This is my fluid box. In here I keep power steering fluid, 2 litres of engine oil, some bars leak for radiator problems, radiator coolant, which should be the same colour that used in your vehicle, and some brake fluid. These are sitting in a container so that in the unlikely event of a leak it's contained, and you'll see I've got all these wrapped up so that they don't wear a hole in each other from the vibration on highly corrugated roads. Spare fan belt, spare fuel filter, and also a fuel filter for my secondary fuel filter, which is aftermarket. If you expect to be getting a service while you're away, it's a good idea to carry the things that are needed for that, you know, such as oil filter, air cleaner, etc. Here I've got a big bag of fuses. You should carry 5 spare fuses for every fuse that you've got. You'll find that most fuses that blow are actually on equipment that you've got rather than the vehicle. So make sure you carry spare fuses for all the equipment you've got, as well as for the vehicle itself. Cable ties. I've got loads of cable ties of various sizes, including some thick, long ones. Black is actually the best, much more resistant to UV light. They're very good for emergency repairs and just temporarily holding things together. WD-40 for lubrication. Inox MX3, very good to spray under your car before you leave home for corrosion protection, getting into the nooks and crannies and folds in metal. And silicone spray. Silicone has an application on things where you wouldn't use WD-40, such as a lock. You'd use silicone spray. So that's what I carry, which I would recommend as a minimum. And there you have it. That's the recommended spare parts for your four-wheel drive on a wilderness adventure. And remember, your adventure begins the moment you decide to go. Not bad.